And I think we have arrived at the witching hour for Mr. Miller to come up. I want to introduce to all of you who may not have met him before, Matthew Miller is the Superintendent of Mentor Public Schools. He has spent the last 19 years serving Ohio communities as an educator in the roles of superintendent, principal, and teacher. He completed his undergraduate coursework and master's degree at the University of Cincinnati and was selected for the Harvard Graduate School of Education Leadership Institute for Superintendents. Miller, his wife Christy, and their 2 children are proud residents of Mentor. Mason is a senior, and Jessica is a freshman at Mentor High School, and she's here to be with us today. I personally think that Matt canceled school, so Jess could come hear her dad speak and see how great of a job he does. But I always joke with him that he's done such a great job in his first 18 months. He's had the President of the United States visit. He had 2 levies passed with over 70% of the vote. A state basketball championship, fantastic football teams. He could be just like George Costanza and just leave on top and leave the meeting. But we hope he's here for a very long time with us. He's done a tremendous job. Matt Miller.
Thank you. That was very nice. Can I steal that mic and walk with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. You recovered nicely after the witching hour comment. I want to thank the Mentor Chamber for giving me this time today and this opportunity, and also to thank the sponsors and a lot of people I've come to know in the past 18 months for having me here as well today. I'm going to share a little bit about the district, what we've been doing, where we're headed. Before I do that, I have a few people that I'd like to introduce to the group. And I'm going to start with our school board, and most of them are here today, so if they could just stand up and be recognized. Board President Mary Briner, Board Vice President Tom Tuttle, Board Member Sally Miller, and Board Member Jenny Gisling. Thank you. Also CFO Dan Wilson, who has been sort of the butt of a few jokes already. So I thank him for being here as well. And also my administrative team. If they could just kind of give a little bit of a wave where they're at. Wave higher. They get a lot of credit for, most of the credit for what I'm going to talk about today, because they do a lot of the legwork, and I just get to talk about some of the good things that we're doing and that we're moving towards. So I appreciate everything that they do for me, and also want to thank MTA and President Snee for hosting as well, and for his comment. And he's right, we do have kids that have some hunger issues here in Mentor, more than we probably all realize, and we work with several social agencies in our community to work on some of those issues. But many factors go into snow days. So a couple days ago, I was probably pretty popular with some of our kids in the community. I get less popular when we have school. It's amazing how that works. But a lot of factors go into making that decision. You can probably drop to your kids, those of you that have kids at Mentor School, that they'll probably get another day off tomorrow. But we'll see. I know the collective groan from the back. Patty, our levy donations are down, so if you want to contribute, if it gets high enough, maybe I'll look the other way. One of the things that you judge me and you judge the school district on is how well do we perform academically. And we in Mentor Schools for many, many years now have strived at really a high level of success. This past year, we met 24 out of 24 indicators again. If you recall, in the past, the state looked at school districts and they gave us rankings. So excellent, excellent with distinction, effective. They've now gone to an A through F report card system. And so one of the indicators on that report card system is how many of those indicators did we get. So we got an A in this category, so 24 out of 24. And most of those indicators are on test scores. So when you hear about school districts and how well they're doing, most of it is reading and math, and most of it is grades 3 through 8 and some high school tests, but not all of them. We also, thanks to the quality staff and parent support that we have, achieved an above value added ranking. So value added is how much growth do our kids make from year to year. So that's the highest you can get. So that was also an A. And our performance index was 103.3. The highest you can get is 120. We have been sort of in this range for the past several years. So anything above 100 is considered pretty good. So that's decent. We're working on getting a little bit better. One of the things I'm going to introduce to our community that I'd like to announce here today is something called the quality profile. The quality profile is going to give all of us in this room and in our community a better picture about what our school district values and what is it really about. So when we talk about the local report card, we have several indicators, A through F, that are basically test scores. But what else is important to our kids and what else is important to our community? So very soon there'll be a stakeholder survey that'll be electronic, that'll go out to our community, that we're going to ask you those questions. What do you as residents, what do you as business owners or teachers or staff members or just the general citizen, what do you value in a school system? What are you proud of about what we do? And what are some things that we can get better at? So very soon in the next couple of weeks, we're hoping to launch that. Then we're going to take the results of that survey and compile it into a report, which is going to be the quality report that'll complement what the Ohio Department of Education puts out. So we see it as sort of a bigger piece than what the state looks at. I often, and I've been saying this and my team is probably getting tired of me saying this, when the state comes out with new standards from Columbus, a lot of us grumble, and rightfully so, but I see that some of the standards that come out as the bare minimum. These are the things we should be doing, but as a community, what else should we be doing for our kids? And I think that's ultimately what we're responsible for. Financially, that's one of the big indicators for how a school district is doing. You can read one of the newspapers just about any day and you see an article in there about a school district or a city or a municipality or township that is struggling financially. This time last year, I told you how excited we were because for the third year in a row, we had a perfect audit, and that was unheard of. So just within the last couple of days, we just found out we had our fourth perfect audit for Mentor schools. So I cannot tell you how rare that is to happen, and we are extremely pleased to get that recognition from the state. So that goes to our CFO, Dan Wilson, and his staff for making sure that our budget is in line, and I think it's one of those community expectations now. So we're excited by that. That being said, our ending balance projection for this fiscal year is $41 million. At the end of 2014, 2015, that goes down to just above $28 million. You can see where this is going. And in 2015, 2016, our ending balance is just under $8 million. This is current projections. And at the end of 2016, 2017, we're looking at a deficit of $17 million. So that's what's on the horizon. I will tell you that this is a better projection than what we had this time last year. So we are able to extend a levy that was passed in 2004 that many of you in this room helped support that was anticipated to go about 4 years into its 14th year. So we have not asked for any additional dollars. If you remember this time last year, if you were here, I was talking about the renewal levy that passed, and we appreciate your support and let you know that we put off our deficit now until the 2016-2017 year. We are continuing, and it's something we work on all the time to hone the pencil a little bit and look at ways we can save some money for our community and for our taxpayers and school system. So that's the deficit that's looming. So we continue to make reductions based on our student enrollment and some other things that we're looking at, new ways to generate some non-tax revenue, and I'll talk about that in just a second. This group and a few of these members are in the room right now. Our Citizens Financial Advisory Committee is charged with going through Mr. Wilson's report and making recommendations to the school board about the district finances. They've been our sounding board and key stakeholders in this process. As I just mentioned, we're looking at some non-tax revenue ways. A lot of times you don't think about school systems generating some non-tax revenue. And so we've sort of taken the approach over the past several months about what else can we do to generate money without going back to our taxpayers. That's one of the things I hate, asking for money. So anything that we can do, I think, is a benefit for us. One of the things that we're doing, if you take a look at the pictures in the top left hand, you see a presentation going on. We have several dynamic staff members in our district who other school systems and companies are now wanting to give presentations at their schools and at their organizations and conferences. So we have started to charge a fee for those services because we're losing either that teacher or that administrator for a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, and they're leaving the classroom. We have to get a sub. Our kids are suffering because it's not the regular teacher or regular staff member in the classroom. So when we see that our staff member will get something out of it, we are now charging these groups, and those dollars come back to the district now. So it's a nominal fee, but it's something outside of the box to generate non-tax revenue. At the stadium, we just are finalizing a deal now to be sort of a secondary home for Lake Erie College for some of their athletic events. They are having some issues right now with where they're playing some of their lacrosse and other outdoor games. So if it fits into our schedule, we've been able to free up a little bit of time and space at the stadium. And so again, non-tax revenue, and it's going to go back into the system. In the bottom left-hand corner, you see Mr. Wilson and his staff, and Kevin was joking, I think, about Dan having many jobs, but currently he's on record for being the treasurer of 3 systems, ours, Richmond Heights, and now West Geauga. And so those are dollars that Richmond Heights and West Geauga are putting back into Mentor Schools. So we're able to financially see some benefit there. And bottom right-hand corner would be the CARES program, our Autistic Resource Center for students. So we have some students that go there, and we're also bringing in students from the outside. Another big piece that you may not have heard about is we just launched an exclusive advertising deal for our sports programs and for our facilities with Spirit Media, which is part of WELW, local company, huge Mentor supporter. So Cameron's here, they have just started putting together some advertising ideas, and we're trying to capture some of the advertising dollars, and those monies will go right back into our athletic programs. So we're looking at additional ways to stretch everyone's dollar. Financial Facts is a feature that we just started about a year ago. If you're not on our distribution list, let us know, but twice a month, there you go, you can sign up, mentorschools.net. Twice a month you can get a financial update about your school district. We also have our business advisory group that we meet with once a month. Usually Mr. Wade heads it up. Sometimes I'll do it. But the group has been great for helping us with getting some programs launched at the high school and for setting up our career fairs. This group in particular that you see up here now helped us with our financial literacy program that the state of Ohio requires school districts to do. Christine Blake and others spearheaded the committee, found out about the curriculum, and worked with our curriculum director, Barbanis, to put together programs for our kids and for our teachers. So certainly they didn't have to do that, but it helps us tremendously. So I appreciate the group that you see up here, up on the board, spearheading this effort. They also are instrumental in the career exploration night. That was packed. That was this year. It was wall to wall. If you're interested in being a part of this in 2 years, let us know. But the line was out the door with kids, and it was tremendous to see. So it was a great event, and I appreciate all of the businesses helping us out. With that being said, the Ohio Department of Education is looking into putting more of a focus on college and career readiness, preparing all of our kids. I saw Roger Sustar. Where is Roger? In the back. I've met with Roger and some of his peers several times about some of the manufacturing positions available to people in Mentor and the surrounding areas. I don't know if anyone from Steris is here right now, but I get tired of seeing the guy from Steris with the signboard saying we have jobs. And I know that I have kids that just graduated that could be doing those jobs. So we're trying to marry the two together, so to speak. We're putting a focus and starting hopefully a pilot program where some of our high school kids can take some online manufacturing classes, so to speak, and co-op and work at places like Freedon and other businesses here in Mentor. So I think you should judge me and our school district not by just the K-12 things, but one of the big pieces would be, what are our graduates doing? They should be in a 2-year college, 4-year college, military, or going into the workforce. So we know that there are really good jobs here in Mentor that we need to get our kids into, and so we're working on that as well. Cardinal Clinic is an exciting partnership we have with Lake Health. I know Gary is here. I'm sure some other Lake Health people are here as well. We just almost a year ago now started finalizing the Cardinal Clinic, and it opened this September. The Cardinal Clinic is an on-site clinic at our high school for Mentor employees. It's staffed by a doctor Tuesday and Thursday, 7 to 4, and it's part of our wellness initiative. So we're hoping that by running our employees through the Cardinal Clinic and working on wellness initiatives, we'll be able to lower our insurance costs. So in time, it'll be a cost-saving measure. So we're excited about that. Cannot say enough about our partnership with the police and fire department. Continues to be a focus. Safety continues to be a focus of the district. And cannot say enough about Chief Harvey, Chief Knight, and the men and women that work for him. We spend a lot of time together planning. If you remember, this time last year was just after Sandy Hook, and so everything was pretty fresh in people's mind. And I remember a parent came to me and said, "You're taking safety seriously now, but I don't want you to forget about some of these things 6 months from now," and that still sticks in my head and resonates with me. So we try to keep that on the forefront. We meet continuously on different safety procedures. In fact, this was the first day of summer vacation this past school year, and this was a tabletop exercise. If you look close, you can see some of the safety personnel. We have teachers, we have administrators, and classified staff. We worked on a drill. Essentially, it was what would we do if the worst thing happened at one of our school buildings? And so we just talked through it, had different discussion groups based on what buildings you were in and what school you were in. So I appreciate the efforts of the city, also letting the fire department and police departments work with us. Continuing with safety, at the beginning of last school year, when I first started, Mr. Wade, our high school principal, introduced this idea for our kids to be able to have an anonymous texting service when something, a student had a report they wanted to make or thought about potentially something not nice happening, so to speak, if you know what I mean. And so this program we instituted at the high school. Kristen Kirby started designing the signs, and we've had a few kids use this to let us know when administration had to be made aware of something. So, and we're also going to take this down to the middle schools as well. Straight Talk Drug Prevention Program. I love this picture. I think those German Shepherds are awesome. And to see them working in our buildings is really neat. And so you might say, "Oh, that's a shame. You got to bring the drug dogs in." But you know what? It is what it is. And so a couple times a year, with the K-9 units in the area, they come through our schools, and we appreciate what they do. So Straight Talk, I'd like to announce this as well. I think law enforcement's aware of this. If not, they will be. On February 7th, at Ridge Middle School, the Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor will be here, and will the state superintendent, Dr. Dick Ross, to announce a new program called Straight Talk. It's based for middle school students, and it's geared towards the heroin problem in Ohio. And so we are going to be the launch spot for the greater Cleveland area for the new program. And that, again, that's Friday, February 7th. So more information will be coming out about that program. We see it here in Mentor as a problem and across the state, and so we can't start too early. And in some ways it's a shame we have to do this, but in other ways it's a shame if we don't, quite honestly. One of the great things that we started just this past year that I'm really proud of was our military commitment ceremony. So we have our student athletes you see in the paper and on the TV news when they sign with one of the bigger schools for a scholarship, and that gets a lot of the media press. We decided this past year to do one for the students who either are going into one of the military academies or right into the service. So just like Athletic Signing Day, we have sort of military signing day, and we bring back our vets to help us with this ceremony. So that's a picture of Rafiq and some of our other students from last year at the military commitment ceremony. We're going to make this an annual event, and hopefully it gets bigger and better, and I would encourage you, especially if you were in the service, to attend that. So it's usually in the morning. Parents come, the recruiters all come, and you can just see it's just a good event. Again, the state doesn't tell us to do this. This is one of those extras we probably should be doing. Okay, these are two of our National Merit finalists this year, Hannah Taub and Dylan Linville. We're excited that we have two this year, and Dylan also got a perfect score on the ACT. He's a 36, smart kid. He's going to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology to study something about particular particle atoms or something that I won't even pretend to know what it is. Does anybody know where Rose-Hulman Institute is? Terre Haute, Indiana. He wins a shirt. We have shirts. You get one for answering. We do. Also, we're proud of the fact last year that Memorial made the National Science Olympiad, and that was a big deal for us. So we came in. Yep, Captain Gunch, your daughter should be in that picture somewhere. Our kids lost out to Solon in Ohio and in the Nationals, so they're kind of on our radar a little bit. So we're excited that they were able to be national qualifiers. In fact, a lot of these kids are moving up through the ranks, so we expect to be at nationals for all three middle schools and our high school this year. So that's sort of what they're gearing toward, and they put a lot of time and energy and effort, and it was fun to be a part of this. This was also kind of fun too. We won a basketball game last year, and you can see the joy on the kids' face. So we were happy for those young men, for the whole program, for the staff, and just the whole community. Appreciate Ken and the city for the signs that they did for us around town. We thought that was awesome, and it went really, really well. And one of the great things about not only the school spirit and the community spirit that brings is I don't have to hear Coach K anymore talk about the state championship he won at Girard. I got tired of hearing about that, so I said you got to replace that with Girard and Mentor now. Also, kudos to our sports team, other sports team for state runner-up football and boys soccer as well. Triv looked pretty serious there. I don't know what game that was, but that's a pretty serious look. When I go to different events in Columbus and across the state, and they hear that I'm from Mentor, they want to talk about two things. They want to ask me about technology and what we're doing with technology, and then they want to say, man, you got a heck of a football team. So those are the two things that I usually get hit up with. Sometimes it's just football. State qualifiers and Final Fours this past year as well. Girls cross country and obviously softball, so that was fun too. And the girls there, we do a lot of the clap outs at the elementary buildings and middle schools, and that is so cool to see those elementary kids eyes light up when the different teams come through for the state competitions. So it's one of those fun things. One of the things we are most proud of in Mentor is the Sparkle cheerleaders, and everything that this group here and everything that the Sparkle friends and the parents put into this group for students with special needs is awesome. So we have a lot of other schools that when they see this, they want to learn more about it and replicate it in their communities. So this is one of the things I think we're most proud of. We also had Lubrizol's Science Teacher of the Year, Stephanie Nowak. She's the one in the middle in stripes, so we're excited about that. That was just announced in January. And yeah, you can clap. Stephanie's in Columbus on a snow day off, presenting in Columbus. This is Shore Middle School, did the Hour of Code and received the only Ohio grant for $10,000. Every state in the United States received, one school received $10,000 for an Hour of Code grant for technology, and Mrs. Hott, who's on the right, wrote the grant, and Shore was the Ohio recipient for $10,000, so we're excited about that. You will not see a better picture of Doug Baker than this one right here. Just how happy he looks. And we're also very proud of this. Just a couple weeks ago, it was announced that Mentor Schools won 4 of the 2014 Ohio Educational Technology Conference Awards. So the 4 awards were, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, Ohio Trendsetter Award, Best Use of Blended Learning Award, Teacher Innovative Award, and Ed Leader Innovative Award. So most of the tech team is in Columbus now getting those awards. So this was a big deal for us across the state. So we're really proud of this as well. And that's the group. This was yesterday's presentation on a snow day. Catalyst. I want to move a little bit into the technology part. What you see here in front of you is a group of kindergarten students from Hopkins Elementary. And they were part of our first Catalyst group. And Catalyst is a classroom over at Ridge Middle School. That is what you would call your ideal technology-infused blended learning classroom. So it's not all about devices, it's not all about computers, though that is a part of it. So this group of 5-year-olds came over Monday through Thursday for about 8 weeks with Tracy Dunn. Tracy's the adult in the middle of that picture. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what Catalyst is and what they did here, and sort of the future and direction of education, not just in Mentor, but in Ohio.
So far, students are loving the station rotations that we're working on in language arts and math. Definitely loving independent time on iPads, and as well as teacher-guided time with iPads. They really enjoy sharing with each other things that they're picking up, tips and tricks of the technology, spending time working with each other in small groups, and getting this rotation routine kind of mastered. I think they're doing a great job with it so far. Every morning, the question is, when are we going to Ridge?
Wait, whoa, this is our classroom? Oh. Look how big the smart board is.
A typical rotation includes a teacher-guided station in which, in the beginning, it has been teacher time with an iPad. So practicing logging into these programs has been huge for students, getting their passwords and numbers down. They're doing a great job with it. It takes a little extra time in the beginning. Students are writing numbers and math skills at the writing wall, in which they're sharing work with each other, and then also having that time to think together, talk with each other. We're using a second teacher-guided station to introduce some different reading apps that we're using, some choice apps, some websites, just to get them acclimated with using technology, and then also utilizing working with each other at a workstation, doing a paper pencil activity, doing a review game, doing a step away for a minute from the technology and work with each other think time. For language arts, we are utilizing the Lexia program, in which students are all working at their independent, tested-in levels in regards to phonics and sight words and blending and segmenting. And in math right now, we are using Moby Max, in which students also took a placement test, actually at Hopkins before we came over, and it placed them in a workable level for them in regards to number sense and measuring and skip counting and addition and subtraction facts. And just to be able to give students what they need every single day at their level has been an awesome thing. My name is Tracy Dunn, and I teach kindergarten at Hopkins.
Tracy won the Innovator of the Year award yesterday, so we're excited about that. If you could, in that video, as I mentioned before, there's two sides of the classroom. That's the Catalyst classroom. On the other side, there's a two-way mirror. And so you can see in, that way the kids aren't distracted, but we bring our other teachers in who are interested in teaching in a blended learning format so they can see what it looks like, and basically it's helping our teachers become better teachers. Also, we have others, we probably on our 12th or 13th school district that's visited this classroom as well, so it gives them a look into it as well. These are the kindergarten standards now. I don't know if you've seen them lately. So these are the English language arts standards. Use drawing, dictating, and writing to narrate an event, provide order and reaction. Speak audibly and express thoughts, feelings, ideas, and clearly. When I was in kindergarten, it was staying within the lines with your crayon, and now it's sort of shifted to this. And so here's how the kids meet these standards.
The dog is going to school. It started raining. But then the sun came out and then he could play outside. Then he went home on the school bus. This story was made by Avery. First there was a pigeon snowman. Then he got hotter and then a little grass came. And then his middle fell off, but his bottom was still there. And sky came out, and then sun. And then a little bit of snow, and then more grass came, and then the snow started to get smaller. And then, after a winter season, it turned spring, and then the sun came out, and then all the skies, then all the grass, and then it was a regular pigeon. This story was made by Tristan.
So when they do these are done on the iPad. So they record their story on there. They draw it on their iPad and they put it together and they edit it, and they're 5. Okay, this is what we're doing now. One more. This is Libby.
Me and Asa are inside, and Asa wanted to go outside and play hide and go seek. Asa is the seeker, and I am hiding behind a tree. Me and Asa is opening the door, and Asa is opening the door so we can go inside and have hot chocolate. Me and Asa are inside now. This story was made by Libby.
Yeah. So you can tell they've done a great job with it. And again, just in a couple of weeks, they put this together. So, okay, we're infusing technology. We're moving forward. We understand that it's 2014. What about the educational value in what we're doing, and what about the results? So this is a kindergarten comparison of the Ames Web test, which is an assessment. Yellow was the kindergartners last year at the wintertime, and then the Catalyst group is the blue group. So you can see that it increases achievement a little bit. It's just a snippet of comparison. It's not obviously a big study, but we're at least seeing more growth than what you would normally see. So that's exciting for us. The Ridge project was, we started a one-to-one deployment with iPads this year for 7th graders at Ridge, and the kids get to take them home. I could spend 3 hours talking about how this project rolled down and what it looks like, but we're just going to take a couple minutes here. And
we started blended learning last year in February. We began flipping our classroom using Schoology and Edmodo free sites and carried it over till this year with our blended learning initiative with the iPads.
This is our first year with blended learning, so just a couple of months. It feels longer because there's so much to it, and so much has gotten started and gotten rolling, so I feel like I've been doing it a little bit longer than my 2 months in.
So far, blended learning is going, we've had a few bumps in the road, but I think the students have really enjoyed it, going at their own pace. They've done some reflections in their blog, and it's proven to me and verified to me that blended learning is a definite route to keep going in.
The blended learning shift has really opened a lot of doors for us in the teaching and learning. The students have answers to any question right at their fingertips. I can spark a little curiosity, throw something out there, and before I know it, answers that come flying back at me without even soliciting them.
You know, you have lots of kids doing different things in classes where the engagement's through the roof. You know, kids are more engaged actively in every class all day long.
So far, I think they like it. I think they like going at their own pace and not necessarily listening to me talk the whole entire period. I know that can get a little monotonous.
A typical class with 7th graders is the kids are checking into their Schoology website, and they're checking to see what their agenda is. You could have kids that are reading an article, you could have kids that are taking an assessment, whether it's a quiz. You could have kids creating some sort of project that they're working on. So it's kind of like an organized chaos in a way to get to the learning objectives of the day.
When we rotate through the class, they may be working with some things with a partner. They could work individually. They may work with digital content. They may work classic pencil and paper. There's a lot of communication, a lot of expanding their knowledge. They dig beyond just what they would know on their own. They have access to so many other resources and experts out there. I'm no longer a fountain of knowledge here. Sometimes I think they know more than I do now.
Project-based learning is a form of almost like an alternate assessment, where instead of looking at just a traditional quiz or tests for a summative or anything, you could give them a project that's based on those standards or learning objectives to have the kids show mastery based on those projects.
Project-based learning really is a good method to have kids think beyond the 4 walls of your classroom. It's opened up the whole entire world. They think big, they think beyond themselves, they think beyond this room. It's amazing what really lies inside a 7th grader that sometimes we don't dig deep enough to find out. And when you give them the opportunity, they just flower right in front of you. It's amazing.
Genius Hour is what they're doing right now, and Genius Hour is what they choose what they want to learn. They choose something to do to affect the world, to make a difference, to create something, whether from learning to play the guitar to helping raise money for childhood cancer, to learning every single MLB baseball pitch, and they get to choose their learning, and I think they've enjoyed it because they're like, I can watch YouTube videos on baseball my whole entire class, and I said yes. But I think the biggest benefit with that is they're creating blogs, and they're so excited to see how many views the public is giving them. Luckily, Genius Hour fits right in with the English and language arts standards. It's research, it's writing routinely over a period of time, it's reading because they're reading, but they're reading what they want. So they're reading tons and tons of nonfiction. They're looking at multimedia approaches to this info, and then they're writing about it. So I mean, it's everything.
Genius Hour really provides an opportunity for our students to decide what they want to know about, what they want to learn about, how they want to better themselves or their environment, and they think bigger than you would ever imagine. I have students who want to build websites to help people with diabetes or cancer awareness. I have kids who are trying to find connections between bullying and water quality in ways that they can improve the earth and the quality of life within it. So it's amazing. Their ideas really have gone places I never imagined they would.
The biggest benefit to me as a teacher with blended learning is I feel like I can have more one-on-one time with my students. I can know their levels a lot easier. I don't lose them as quickly. I know more about them and what they need individually.
It gives me the opportunity to kind of almost interact with the students 24 hours a day.
They're able to show me their understanding in so many ways I never imagined beyond paper and pencil.
My name's Stephanie Dwyer. I teach 7th grade English and 6th grade social studies.
My name is Sean St. Hilaire. I am a 7th and 8th grade teacher.
My name is Carmen Walker, and I teach 7th grade English at Ridge Middle School.
How'd I do?
Okay, so that's a little bit about the deployment that we did at Ridge that we're looking to expand at our other 2 other middle schools. Actually, a pilot this still this second semester and then for next year. Real quick, and I know I'm way over time, I'm going to show you a little snippet that Jack Lynch put together for us, and I'll talk about it here. It's pretty fast. So we actually shortened this video down, but one of the cool things about what Jack did, I saw presentations at all three middle schools, and they're very similar to this. First of all, the kids have the right background music that like gets you all excited, but you can see what they're doing and how they're learning and how excited they are. I mean, you know, when I went to school, I don't think 7th and 8th grade boys were this excited and this engaged, but you see something like this and you can tell that it's working. The other thing that was really cool, I don't know if you saw at the end of the video, he made it on his iPhone. So the whole thing was on his iPhone, not anything that we gave them. These kids are that far ahead. We have a special presentation now. Chief Harvey, if you can come up. We started something just a couple months ago called a Cardinal Lifetime Achievement Award. And come on over, Chief. And when I first came to Mentor, Chief was one of the first people to come see me and introduce himself. And this guy's been Johnny on the spot for the district before my time, but even in the last 18 months that I've been here, he's been great for our kids. After Sandy Hook, when my phone's ringing off the hook about, what are you doing to keep our kids safe, and we need to do this, we need to do that. Chief just pops in and says, hey, I'm here if you want to talk about something, or I'm glad to be a resource for you. So I can't thank him enough for everything that he's done for our community, but also for our district. And I know when hopefully we don't have anything happen, but if there's a catastrophic event, weather-wise or worse down the road, I know I'm going to be looking over my shoulder and see this guy there. So we appreciate Chief Harvey and thank him. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
I mean a lot. Also, you want to say anything? You want to say anything?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Again, our relationship with the schools is just unbelievable. I talk to our colleagues in the fire service all the time. We set the standard here with our schools, the cooperation between the schools and the city. My boss over there has allowed me the time to do this. Chief Knight and the police department, it's been incredible the things that we've been able to work on together. And you heard it from me first, Chief Searles will continue the tradition. He's a great fit, and he knows all about this stuff. He's helped me with everything I've done, and you should be very pleased to have him to take my place. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Well deserved. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
This is very, very nice.
You're welcome. Well deserved. Yep. Thanks. Thanks, Chief Harvey. Thanks for letting us do this too. I know I'm over time, and somebody stole my clicker to tell me I'm out of time. Real quick, Once a Card has been our hashtag this year on Twitter. If any of you are on Twitter, please follow @MentorSchools and @MentorSuper. If you want to know what we're doing in the district, there are updates by our staff members numerous times a day, and anything positive that we put out, we use the hashtag Once a Card. And it's been a great communication tool for our students and for our staff. And we have a lot to be proud of with that. There's the Facebook, social media sites that we have really put a lot of time into as well. So a lot of good things about our kids are on these sites. At this time, I know I'm over. I will be glad to take any quick questions that people have. Someone's got to have a question. You just want to get out. All right, thanks. I will stick around for a little while afterwards if you have anything. If you want to talk about anything you saw, if you want to talk about anything you didn't see that you wanted me to talk about, please let me know. Again, I'll stay after for a while, or feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. Thanks to the Chamber. Thanks to the sponsors.